Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Robyn Brown thought she could hit Janelle with a penalty and walk away victorious, but Sister Wives fans are watching karma spin like a boomerang and come slamming back harder than anyone expected, because if you ever believed the Brown family drama was cooling off, think again. It's hotter, messier, and legally juicier than ever, with courthouse whispers, financial fallout, and a $250,000 twist that sent shockwaves from Flagstaff to every corner of the Sister Wives fandom. This saga didn't just start with pettiness. It started with Robyn's determination to reassert control over the Brown family legacy, over the finances, and over the narrative of who's truly loyal, who deserves the family assets, and who, in her eyes, owes her and Kody something, leading her to file paperwork demanding Janelle pay a $5,000 penalty for allegedly violating the informal financial agreement the Browns supposedly had before their split, but what Robyn and Kody apparently didn't expect was a judge who wasn't buying their guilt-tripping, excuse-filled sob story, because instead of punishing Janelle, that judge turned around and ruled in Janelle's favor, forcing Robyn and Kody to cough up $250,000 for financial damages, emotional distress, and improper filing conduct, a legal phrasing that basically translates to "you tried it, and you got burned," and Sister Wives viewers are losing their minds. Because this isn't just courtroom tea, this is a symbolic justice moment, a stunning reversal. The universe, and now the legal system, finally pushing back on the years of manipulation, tears, theatrics, and the infamous sobbin' Robyn routine we've seen dozens of times, where she cries, Kody rages, and somehow everyone else becomes the villain. Except this time, the court wasn't swayed. The court didn't melt under the quivering lip and the shaky teardrop voice, because when the facts came out about the land, the money, the family fund, the Coyote Pass dream that turned into a nightmare, Janelle's truth stood strong. She contributed, she sacrificed, she lived in an RV while Kody played king of a castle that wasn't fully paid for. And Robyn got her mansion while Janelle camped in a vehicle like a solo pioneer mom trying to survive, all while Kody breezed around justifying his behavior as spiritual leadership instead of what it really looked like, abandonment and favoritism disguised as patriarchal duty. And fans haven't forgotten that one scene where Janelle tried to talk about finances reasonably and Kody exploded, throwing loyalty rhetoric like confetti, accusing her of not being part of the family structure anymore. While Robyn sat beside him like a queen on a throne, nodding, occasionally crying, occasionally deflecting. The classic "I never wanted this" performance we've seen every season since the move to Flagstaff, but now, for the first time, someone with authority took a magnifying glass to the situation, and instead of bending to emotional pressure, laid down consequences, something viewers have screamed for across social media for years. Imagine the courtroom, Janelle walking in calmly, not cocky, not vindictive, just exhausted and firm, like a woman who spent over 25 years balancing motherhood, spiritual, plural marriage, a husband who treated loyalty like currency and withheld affection as punishment and still came out dignified, and on the other side, Robyn and Kody, flanked by an attorney desperately trying to spin a story that wouldn't crumble under questioning, trying to frame the penalty as protecting family equity. But when the judge asked for proof of formal agreements, receipts, written contracts, or financial records showing Janelle agreed to any penalty, the silence reportedly spoke louder than any tear Robyn could shed. Sources say the courtroom energy shifted. Gone was the sob-story power dynamic Kody and Robyn used for years, and in its place was accountability. Real, monetary, staggering accountability. Because the judge didn't just dismiss the fine request, they reportedly delivered a sharp statement about misuse of legal filings to exert personal control. A devastating phrase that will haunt Robyn's PR attempts for seasons to come, marking a turning point in Sister Wives history, the first time an outside authority publicly slapped down what viewers have long suspected: emotional control tactics masquerading as family unity, financial gatekeeping dressed as responsible stewardship, and crocodile tears wielded like weapons. And how poetic is it that the $250,000 ruling lands right when Janelle is rebuilding her life, focusing on health, peace, independence, while Kody and Robyn, already battling tax rumors, downsizing whispers, and mounting speculation that finances aren't as rosy as their "we're blessed" statements claim, now must cough up $250,000, a real-life, tangible echo of what fans have been saying for years. Karma is patient, but she never forgets. Janelle, once seen as the quiet one, the pragmatic one, the steady hand, is now the woman who stood up, faced the couple who tried to intimidate her into guilt and payment, and walked out not only vindicated but compensated, her victory not loud but powerful, echoing louder than any televised monologue Kody ever delivered about honor and loyalty. And viewers can't help but replay that scene from years ago where Robyn claimed she just wanted peace and unity, yet turned around and demanded signatures, deeds, and preferential access to financial decisions. A pattern so clear now it's practically fluorescent neon, and the fandom isn't forgiving or forgetting. Because there's poetic justice in watching Janelle, who once packed into an RV because she believed in the family dream, now metaphorically hand the bill back to the architect of that fractured dream, forcing Robyn and Kody to pay up, while the internet cheers and memes explode, calling this Janelle's Emancipation Day and Robyn's reality check, making jokes that the only thing Robyn will be signing from now on is a check with tears smudging the ink. Fans always wondered if someone would finally hold Kody accountable for the pattern of favoritism, emotional outbursts, financial opacity, and entitlement that drove 3 wives away, and while Christine found happiness and Mary sought peace, it's Janelle who delivered the plot twist, not by leaving quietly, not by starting a social media brand, but by taking the truth to a courtroom and letting justice speak for her. And now questions swirl. Will Kody spin this as persecution? Will Robyn collapse into another mascara-streaked speech about betrayal? Will they blame lawyers? Fans? Spiritual warfare? Or will this finally force introspection? Will they sit in their expensive Flagstaff living room, now burdened with a 6-figure payout, and realize that maybe, just maybe, you cannot control every narrative forever, and eventually real-world systems of fairness catch up? But knowing the Brown saga, this is far from over. Rumors are already circulating about appeals, about Robyn insisting the judge didn't understand plural family dynamics, about Kody ranting that the system always punishes men of faith, while Janelle simply moves forward, quietly strong, quietly rebuilding, planning her future, her retirement, her new chapter free from manipulation, knowing she didn't have to scream or spin or beg for sympathy. She simply had to stand up and tell the truth, and let the truth do what the truth always does: reveal, expose, and liberate. And maybe that's the deepest message underneath the $250,000 headline, that strength doesn't always look like confrontation or tears or chaos. Sometimes it looks like a steady voice, documents in order, a woman walking into court with dignity and leaving with justice in her hands, while the house of emotional smoke and mirrors finally sees the first crack in its foundation, a crack that, if history has taught us anything, won't stop spreading, won't be patched by crying confessionals, and will follow Robyn and Kody long after the ink dries, long after the cameras stop filming, because once the world sees behind the curtain, once someone stands up and wins, others feel empowered to do the same, and this ruling is more than money. It's a message, a shift, a new chapter in Sister Wives history where, for the first time, consequences didn't fall on the loyal wives who sacrificed, but on the ones who assumed control meant immunity and now face a very public correction. Reality check worth exactly $250,000 and counting. And as the dust settles around this jaw-dropping courtroom reversal, the Sister Wives universe is shaking like never before. Because while Robyn and Kody may have walked into that courthouse expecting validation, expecting the judge to rubber stamp their narrative one more time like the show cameras always did, they walked out absolutely stunned, their pride bruised, their control tactics shattered, and $250,000 lighter. Like reality itself finally decided it was done playing along with the fairy tale martyr act, and fans are looking around going, was this the moment the empire finally cracked beyond repair? Because make no mistake, this wasn't just a financial blow, This was a symbolic dethroning, a moment where the couple who once dictated emotional weather forecasts inside the Brown family found themselves powerless, their tears and tantrums suddenly currency, with no exchange value in the real world, and the irony is so thick you could spread it on toast. This is the same Kody Brown who once thundered about loyalty, who framed dissent as betrayal, who told Janelle she had to choose between him and her boys, a statement that still echoes as one of the coldest moments in Sister Wives history, and yet here she is today, not just surviving, but winning, and not a quiet personal victory but a public legal one. Something stamped by a judge, something Robyn can't guilt cry her way out of, something Kody can't blame Christine for, something Mary can't be scapegoated over, and something the kids, yes, every one of those now-grown children who watched the family fracture, will never forget. Because justice doesn't need confessional chairs or dramatic music cues to make its point. It just needs truth and time, and Janelle had both on her side. And right now, fans are imagining the tension inside that Flagstaff mansion, the house that became the symbol of imbalance, built on a foundation of future family unity that never came to fruition, and now haunted not just by emotional ghosts but by legal ones. Because $250,000 isn't pocket change, especially not when the public already noticed the thinning finances, the quiet downsizing rumors, the property tax whispers, the awkward moments when Kody's big declarations no longer sounded like visionary leadership, but like hollow confidence coming from a man watching the kingdom crumble and trying desperately to pretend he still wore the crown. And now that crown isn't just slipping, it's rolled across the courthouse floor, dented, unpolished, abandoned with zero resale value. And Robyn, who once positioned herself as the peacekeeper, the gentle soul begging for harmony, now looks more like someone who tried to legally punish another woman over imagined infractions, only to get legally reprimanded herself. And it's impossible not to wonder whether she's processing this moment in regret or in denial. Is she sitting in that living room clutching tissues, insisting no one understands her plight? Or has the first crack finally reached her self-crafted narrative mirror, showing her not as the victim but as a participant in the downfall, someone who mistook financial control for emotional safety, someone who believed loyalty could be forced, someone who thought love meant paperwork, signatures, and punishments, when in reality love means freedom, respect, and fairness. 3 qualities Christine chased, 3 qualities Janelle demanded, 3 qualities Mary cried for, and none of which ever seemed to flow freely from the marriage. Robyn entered with visions of a big united family and ended up presiding over a fractured dynasty. And speaking of Christine, you can practically hear the fandom imagining her reaction. Not gloating, not cheering, but that satisfied nod she does. That, "I warned you, and then I left and healed and built peace," energy. The grace-filled, quiet triumph that comes when karma doesn't require you to lift a finger, where truth moves on its own. And even though Christine has her new life, her blended family, her laughter, her road trips, her kitchen counter dances, there's no denying she will sleep just a little sweeter tonight knowing Janelle got justice, knowing the system validated what she felt for years, that something inside the Brown power structure was deeply wrong, imbalanced, tilted toward favoritism and emotional hierarchy disguised as spiritual duty. And what about Mary, who always believed in the dream even long after the dream stopped believing in her, who held on to loyalty like a life raft, who waited for emotional scraps at a table she helped build, who heard, "I don't consider us married," after decades of commitment? How must she feel seeing the couple who isolated her now answering to consequences, realizing perhaps she stayed too loyal to someone who never held loyalty as sacred as he claimed? And maybe now she sees Janelle's win as not only validation but a permission slip, a cosmic sign that you don't have to stand by someone who uses loyalty as a leash. But while the wives find closure in their own ways, the fans are practically writing history books in real time, bookmarking this legal verdict as the moment when the Sister Wives story evolved from emotional drama to ethical reckoning, a transformation from televised heartbreak to real-world accountability. The kind of plot twist reality TV producers dream of, but could never script because you can script tears, you can script sit-downs, you can script therapy sessions and RV living storylines, but you cannot script a judge telling the family leader and his favored wife to dig into their bank account and pay the woman they try to penalize. And that is where the gravity of this moment sinks in. This wasn't produced drama. This was justice stepping into a long-running emotional saga and saying, enough. And from this point forward, everything changes. Every interview Kody gives will carry the weight of this ruling. Every tear Robyn sheds will face skepticism rather than sympathy. Every move they make will be watched not just through the lens of family dynamics, but through the lens of accountability. And Janelle, once the quiet backbone of the Brown household, emerges not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of resilience.